Hey Bubble family, welcome back to the channel. So yes, I am going to waffle. So just giving you a warning. Um so it's been a very funny day today. I had to I had a bit of space this morning, and so I ended up taking my niece to the airport. So we had a bit of a drama there, and bless her. So unfortunately, one of her friends who was going with her broke down on the way. She was driving all the way down to from Scotland, and so she broke. Bless her, she broke down in York. So we were dealing with all that this morning, and so she had to kind of get another flight for her, and then I had to take her to Gatwick, and I got stuck in traffic. I was fine on the way there. I was doing really, really well, and then got stuck on the A27, which is like a road near where I live, which should have taken me about 10 minutes to get through, 40 minutes. And it was so hot. Thankfully, I had some water in the car, but I was literally, I just felt so ill. It was like, I'm so tired of these roadworks. And it feels like they're always doing something on this A27, this stretch of road. And so I just felt so ill. I was coming over, I felt really nauseous. I was like having the hot sweats, and I was like, oh, of all the times to be having a menopausal moment, it's when I'm stuck in traffic on the A27. I mean, it's very lucky that I didn't get out and go like full on rage and the road works. I was just like, oh no, this is so unfair. So please, anyone that is menopausal and understands my pain, understands what I mean by this. It was just the worst time to kind of be sitting having this hot flush where I'm just literally hot anyway, and then just feeling just so unwell. And I've got these mints in the car, and I'm popping these mints thinking, please just stop the nausea, please, because mint is supposed to help that. And then thankfully it kind of passed, and I was able to get home, and then I just kind of laid down for a bit, and then I was fine. But it was like, I was like, oh, I've got to work. It's like, I don't feel great. As you can see, the picture is rehung, and it's straight. It's straight. I mean, strangely enough, as I sit here, it's like my head, my big head blocks it. But yes, it is straight, peoples. It's so funny. Yesterday, I feel like I need to kind of explain a little bit about this kind of what I use this channel for, which I know I've sort of said before, but I feel like sometimes when I say things like, oh, I'm sorry that the camera is this or that or whatever, it's not that I'm saying, because I think, so many people are like, oh, stop apologizing. It's like, I'm not saying sorry as in like I've done something wrong. It's almost like I'm saying I'm sorry that your experience wasn't great. It's like I feel for you. It's not nice when you're kind of ready to look at something and the picture isn't great or the sound quality isn't great. So it's not that I'm apologizing when I say, and I don't know whether this is kind of, I feel like sometimes a lot of American people feel that when I say sorry, it's because I think I'm doing something wrong. I don't. And I also, like, when I explain things, please also don't think that I'm going to change my channel because people have complained. I take on board constructive criticism. I listen to, like, when I go in the comments and people are saying things, I take everything on board. But if I don't agree with it, or it's not something I want to do, I won't do it. Now, I can appreciate that you guys, like maybe some new people that have come to the channel, I think for the most part, like most of my subscribers know by now, that things that I do, like the drink thing and other things like that, and it's just kind of, I'm coming on and having this waffle, this chat with you. But it's never going to be that I'll change something. I will only change something if I think, actually, there's something to that, and I will change that. Now, that's not to say that I'm not always looking for ideas for the channel, ways to make the channel grow. ways to make the thumbnails more attractive. There's a lot of things that I'm still looking to try and do because I'm very aware that I'm still a growing channel. So when I say things to you guys, I want that input, but that doesn't mean to say that I'm going to take it. I mean, you could literally say, well, do you know what, Ems, get up there and, in a pink tutu and a, and leopard. See, it starts leopard, leopard leggings, but I won't do it. I can say like, yeah, no, we're great. That's a really, well done for saying that. But no, absolutely not. I'm sure there are many ways I could draw in viewers, but I won't do it. So I kind of feel like I want to explain that to you because I don't want you to think that every time you hear me say the word sorry, it's like I'm apologizing for my very existence. I'm apologizing for the things that I might say or do. I'm just a very respectful person. I was raised that way. I've always been that way, and I'm sort of almost kind of like I say, I'm basically saying I'm sorry that your experience wasn't great. But I am also a very stubborn person, and I'm actually very opinionated. I may not come on this channel and it might look as if I'm very accommodating, and I am to a degree, but believe you me, anyone in my private life knows that if I don't want to do something, I won't do it. But a lot of the times I like to explain things to you all because I care. I know it sounds silly to say that I care about this channel, but I really do. I'm not someone that, I see a lot of channels that don't look at the comments. Like I've seen people say, oh, just don't read the negative comments. But I read all the comments. And unfortunately, when you do that, you see some of the negative ones. You can't help that. Now, again, that doesn't mean to say that I comment back to them, because I don't. I remove them from the channel. But I do that because one of the main reasons is I'm sick and tired of going onto YouTube videos of other people, and I see these very nasty attacking comments where someone's just asked a question and they've literally been jumped on by somebody. And so, of course, then that person probably thinks, well, I don't want to comment anymore. And they should comment. They should be able to comment. Now I know a lot of creators don't check their comments, and that's fine. That is their choice, but that's not mine. I want to be able to check the comments. I want to be able to go in, and I want you guys to feel that this is a safe space to air your stories, to air your opinions in a respectful way, and not feel that you're going to get jumped on by one of the squad, or jumped on by, and I go in and I delete a lot of comments, believe you me. I go in and I see someone that will just sneak in, because I look at the replies, I look, and yes, it's time consuming, and it's my own fault. But that was how I started this channel, and that was what I wanted. But unfortunately, the flip side of that is I do see some negative comments. And so that is what I talk about when I mention those things. But I'm not going to listen to them. I'm not going to be that when someone says to me, oh, I don't want you to do that on your channel. And I get this a lot. I even get people that didn't like when I coloured my hair. It's like, I'm not going to go, oh, well, okay, then, well, you don't like it, so I'm going to change it back. I can honestly tell you the things that I might say behind the scenes when I see comments like that, but I don't say that on camera because I'm respectful. So I just wanted to say that to you guys. So please don't think when I'm venting or I'm airing how I feel that I'm listening to the negative comments, that I'm, I mean, don't get me wrong, the odd one, if I'm having a bad day, yes, the odd one might get through, but, again, that's why I talk to you guys on here. And I know that it's not a two-way thing, but in a way it kind of is, because in the comments, like yesterday, you come back with some lovely comments, don't worry, Ems. It's like, I'm not a worrier. I'm not. Like I say, I've been here a long time. I've been doing this a long time. This is not the first time I've ever been attacked for something, a negative comment about something. So as much as I talk about it, because I think it's healthy to talk about it rather than bottle it up, I do not listen to bullies. I do not, unless I feel like, for example, when I come off Twitter, that was because of my mental health, and also my son's mental health. And I made that conscious decision. I don't need to keep looking at those negative comments. Don't need to keep looking at the way the people speak about me. And actually, my life's a lot easier when I don't do that. So that was a decision I made for myself. But if someone said to me, you need to come off Twitter, I would have been like, no, I don't. If I want to come off Twitter, I'll do it because I want to, not because you're telling me to. And that's the same principle for the channel. And in a way, I say that to you guys. If someone is telling you to do something, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, don't. You know, be your own person. But like I say, when I say sorry for something, I'm not apologizing for me. I'm not apologizing for what I've done. I'm just basically saying I'm sorry that your experience wasn't great. So I hope that kind of explains that, because I don't want you guys to think that every time you hear me saying, oh, sorry about that, or, you know, that I'm like, oh, she's apologizing again, you know, because again, I see it in the, you know, oh, you know, stop apologizing. I'm not. I just say that word because, like I say, I was raised to be courteous. I was raised to be respectful to other people, and also my training to understand that other people's experience, you know, if they go through something, you know, it's not always nice. So I hope that clears things up for you all. I will run this channel how I choose to run the channel, but I also look to you for constructive criticism, for ideas, for things to help grow the channel, help promote the channel, you know, because we are a bubble family and your input is important to me. But ultimately, I will decide whether it's the right way to go. But I love and respect you all, and I appreciate your comments. And so, yeah. So I hope you've all had a wonderful day. I know this waffle has gone on a little bit longer than anticipated, but I was hoping to clear that up for you all because I wanted to really make sure that you understood that just this is who I am as a person. I'm not really any different in my real life. You know, I might be a little bit more calmer, more professional. But as you see, when I'm in the lives with Trev, I'm a little bit more animated. I'm, you know, and I might say the odd cursey word, fruity language, which I don't necessarily say in my field of work. So I hope you understand that. So by now, Bubbles, you know what to do. Grab that drink of choice. And today, I've gone back to my old favourite, which is my cherries and berries squash in my mason jar. And so if you want to drink a lovely class, oh, I know how this is going to go today. Glass, Emma. It's glass. A cold glass of pressed apple juice. Whether you would like to have a mix up and go with some orange and pineapple with some lemonade, or you might want to add a shot of gin to your cranberry juice, or a shot of gin to nothing apart from some ice, because like I always say, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. So grab that drink and let's dive right in. So, Bubbles. Whew, hot day today. So, I hope that you have seen my part 1 and part 2 of Harry. If not, they will be in the description box below. And I will also put them on the end of this video when you see the little screens come up of the recommended videos, part 1 and part 2. So following on from our theme from yesterday in talking about the foundation, the building blocks of how Harry come to be where he is now. So it's weird that I can see like my screen. So as a young adult, Harry left Eton. So this was due to the fact that he did not get the exam results he wanted, and so university was not an option for him. And I would have believed, so this is why I think he went into the army. Again, remember we were talking about this sense of belonging. I think he felt that he just didn't belong. He's kind of floundering. And it's around this time that I believe that he would have been drinking and experimenting with drugs. Now, what I want to say about drugs especially is that your emotion, once you start taking something recreationally like this, your emotional maturity kind of gets stuck. So it kind of goes into stasis. So, for example, if you've got Harry that's starting to experiment around them at sort of 18, 19, or even, 17, then especially if it's marijuana, there is a lot of evidence to state that your emotional maturity kind of stays at this kind of age. So if you look at the way Harry behaves, it really does make a lot of sense that when he has these outbursts, when he kind of does the things that he does, he's acting like an 18-year-old. Now, I'm not saying all 18-year-olds because, some 18-year-olds are very, very mature for their age, but we're talking about people that are that are taking drugs. Now, again, I'm not saying all people because I know that some people do smoke marijuana for medicinal purposes. Again, we're talking about there's a lot of trauma. So you have the fact, because again, I've got my notes, you have the fact that he's already experienced a few traumatic events when we've talked about the fact that he's not only he's born into the royal family, he's thrust into the public eye, and as a young child, he's not kind of aware of the concept of that. The problems within his parents' marriage, the fact that he's with nannies, he's not always with his parents. They go away. They're all the troubles with his mum. You have the fact that he's not going to be the future king, so that he would have started also to become aware of that. Then his parents divorce, and then he loses his mother. And so all these kind of traumatic events, what happens is when you have a trauma, it's like your brain is like a computer and it imprints. So it's kind of like it gets kind of stuck on a trauma in a sense. So that's why, you then kind of then start building things around that. So what we can then do is that when we go through something like that is we seek out gratification. We seek out something that is positive. So then if you're not working through this with a therapist, you then do your own kind of seeking, and then you'll kind of go into, then this is where you'd go into behaviours. So you will look at problematic behaviours, which we've seen with Harry and his the way he is as a child, so he's very attention seeking. And then, of course, then when he's gone through this trauma of the loss of his mother, he's then gone into probably either shutting down, or he then becomes quite angry and aggressive. And there'll be a part of him that gets gratification from that. He'll get a feeling of, it's almost like, even if it's a buzz, that he's getting something. So obviously, and along the way you get things like bullying others, biting ourselves or biting others, stealing, imaginary friends. These are things that some children can act out, and if they're not rectified, and if you do not get to the core root of those things, they become like this kind of script that runs underneath, and the child doesn't heal. So then as they kind of start to grow out of those, even if they're reprimanded, if you're not getting to the core root, they will just move on to something else, and so on and so on and so on. So with Harry, not only was he acting out and probably getting attention from this, which would have made him feel better, in the moment. As he got older, it's not a surprise then he moves on to recreational drugs to feel better and happier, because that's what he would have wanted to do. And he also, remember as well, he wants to fit in. So if he's kind of going along with this circle of friends that are all doing that kind of thing and being a bit rebellious, he's kind of slotted in with that, and that's probably where he feels that he fits in. He's being probably a bit of a class clown, he's getting attention. And then as this progresses into his adulthood, he's then known as the party prince. He's known as the fun prince. So what he's then seeing is that he's now starting to be different from William, and he's starting to get a name for himself, and it's something that isn't to do with being in such of the royal family. It isn't kind of structured, it's free, it's, you know, he's getting a name for himself, which in his own way is bringing him his own attention, which is what he's wanted. And so he's slotting into that. You know, he's known for partying, he's known for meeting all, you know, he's going out and meeting celebrities, and he's kind of doing all of those things, you know. So, so this is around the age of probably about 18 to 21, you know, and this is then a lot of the time then, you know, and I would say that this was after that obviously he was in the army. So you're looking at, then he goes to Sandhurst, and he comes out of the army, and obviously, like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but he would have had a sense of belonging within the army, comes out of the army, and he's back into that again, because he's lost that sense of belonging. Whatever it was that he found in the army, he's now lost that. So now, obviously, I know that there's been rumours of the fact that he didn't do much, but we're talking about how Harry sees things. So, you know, you then have all these stories coming out of drunken H dressed as a Nazi, his anger when he's on the horses in a polo match, and how he treats the animals. And I always think that's a red flag in how people treat animals. You know, he's not treating women very well. There's rumours coming out that he's not treating women very well. And I think this was probably a bit of a tip of the iceberg. But again, the royal family make the massive mistake of covering things up. You know, they fix it for him. So again, this is creating him to think that he's kind of untouchable. You know, doesn't matter what he does, he's going to get protected. Who does that sound like? You know, so with this type of behaviour going unchecked, and there are not severe consequences for this behaviour, it's only going to get worse. And the only way sometimes that changes is either if you go to therapy and you get support and help through that, and you learn, or you have some kind of epiphany where you hit a rock bottom moment and you're like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. So then it's around this time he starts dating women. You know, he starts dating, you know, various models and actresses, and doesn't really go anywhere. He has like one night flings, and there's a lot of, you know, again, he's, you know, party prince. He's the life and soul of the party. But again, underneath all of this would have been this Harry, you know, that just wants this sense of belonging. He's looking for something. And even if he's not necessarily aware of what it is, you know, he's also then at this point, like I say, aware of Catherine and William's relationship, you know, and how lovely that is, you know. So again, it's kind of like, probably in his eyes, it's like his brother has fallen into this relationship. You know, he's not only is he future king, everyone seems to think he's amazing, and, you know, he's got a great set of friends, and then he's fallen into this most amazing relationship, and Harry hasn't. You know, so he then meets Chelsea Davy, which I think he believed he dated from 2004 to 2011. Now, I believe, just for some of the stuff that I've read, some of the pictures that I've looked at, I believe she was the love of his life. I do believe that. You look at the body language, you look at the way that he's kind of all over her. There's a lot of pictures where he's making the moves. You know, he's kissing her, he's holding her hand, he's cuddling her. You know, you can see that it's him that's kind of the instigator. I mean, yes, she's there reciprocating it, but he's instigating it. And that's a huge difference to then, you know, even when he then later on meets Cressida. You can see that in a way, if you look at the body language with Cressida, it's very similar to the way he is with Meghan. You know, he's kind of become a bit more dominant. He's kind of walking forward ahead all the time. They're not really seen holding hands. There's not really a lot of public displays of affection. So it's kind of, to me, it's very similar. So, but if you look at Chelsea Davy, you can see that he's cooey over her. You know, I think he really did love her. And what's interesting is that a lot of the people are saying that they were very much in love, those two. And even though it was a little bit on and off, but a lot of that was down to the way that she couldn't handle royal life. And when she saw when William and Catherine got married and the big kind of hoo-ha around that, she was like, I really don't want this. You know, it's like, I really, really don't kind of. And so she realized that she'd made the right decision in breaking up with him and them separating. But they were together for quite some time, you know, 7 years, you know, so which, you know, is a long time. And so, but what's interesting to me, and as well as along with Chelsea Davy along with Cressida Bonus, was the fact that neither one of those two wanted the royal life. And I find it fascinating that no one in the media really picked up on the fact that when Harry and Meghan decided to do the big elaborate Megxit, saying they wanted privacy, they didn't want to be part of the royal life and everything else, and that Harry apparently has wanted this all along. Well, there's two relationships for a start that didn't want that. Chelsea Davy, who he was very much in love with, who did not want to be part of being the royal fishbowl, and also Cressida Bonas didn't want to be in the, and she was the one that he was dating right before Meghan, pretty much from 2012 to 2014. So why didn't he leave with them? If he didn't want this royal life, if he wanted out, which he says apparently when he was dating Meghan and this whole thing happened, he's wanted out for years. Well, there you go. Perfect example. And especially given the fact that with Chelsea Davy, he was in love with her. Now, I do think he was fond of Cressida Bonas, but I don't think he was in love with her as he was with Chelsea Davy, not by looking at the body language. I mean, all right, yes, he was a lot younger, but you can see it. You can see it. Perfect opportunity for him to go, I've always wanted out. Let's make that happen. But he didn't, because deep down, I do believe Harry wanted to carve something out for himself, but I don't believe he ever wanted to leave the royal family. I don't think he wanted to leave the adulation that he got, So I think, and I will do a video on Megxit. I know a few of you have asked me to do the video, and I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to do the breakdown of the relationship, and I'm going to do videos on that, and I'm going to do videos on Megxit. So this one is just about Harry. But so then of course in 2016 he meets Meghan. And like I say, I'll be discussing that relationship in another set of videos. So you only have to look at the various photographs and footage to see that before maybe in the beginning with Meghan, he seemed happy. He did have this freedom. Like he's saying that he was trapped or whatever it is, or he didn't feel. But when you look at the way he was partying with the rich and famous. He was able to kind of go out, get drunk, act stupid. And the public loved him for it. Rightly or wrongly, they did. So you tell me, what was it that he couldn't do? That he's saying that he was stifled and all of those things. He was able to travel to the most remote countries. He was able to do exactly what he wanted. Yes, okay, he was papped, but he didn't seem too bothered by that. I mean, he is now because the tables have turned, but he wasn't. He was quite happy to give interviews back then, even though he was saying things like, I don't like the UK. He was quite happy to go to Africa or wherever. He was quite happy to utilise the royal status that was given him to do exactly what he wanted. Like I say, no other opportunity would have given him the means to to hobnob with the rich and famous, to travel all over the world, to go to the most luxurious of places, holidays, yachts, you name it. He could have that. And the pick and choosing of the most beautiful women, being in the royal family afforded him that. And apparently he wanted out, but yet he had two opportunities to leave with Cressida and Chelsea, and he didn't. So to me, when he was in the army, I think that was something that he wanted, and I think that's something that he chose to do, mainly because he didn't do well at uni. Now, whether or not that was the choice all along, he's kind of made it seem that. I'm not so sure. I just think he wanted somewhere to belong, and he couldn't go to uni because his exam results were appalling. So he decided to go into the army. So I think for me, up until Meghan, I think, he was pretty much doing what he wanted. Yes, I do think there was an element where he was floundering, and I do think that there was a lot of behaviour that was left unchecked, but he was allowed to do what he wanted when he wanted it. And the stuff with his mother, yes, I know that he's done, a couple of things in interviews regarding his mum, but I think he made the agreement with his brother. They were never going to use their mother's death for any financial gain. They were not going to speak about their mother unless it was together. So they made this kind of pact. Well, where's that gone? Suddenly, Meghan comes on the scene, and everything that he kind of has gone out of the window. Now, whether you liked him or didn't like him, even though a lot of people have said that I really respected and liked Harry before Meghan, before when after he was dating Meghan, I think after the wedding as such, you know, and that's now changed. He is now one of the most unliked royals apart from Andrew. And he's gone from like up there to now rock bottom. And that will be affecting him. And I will talk about that, you know, so absolutely that will be affecting him, which is why I think you're getting this behavior now. So let me know what you think in the comments, guys. You know, what do you think about adult Harry? Now, I know you all have very strong opinions with it when it comes to Harry. And, you know, and I think, you know, there are a lot of you that I've spoken to, you know, either in the comments or emails. You know, I have clients that have got children that are smoking marijuana or who are, you know, doing other drugs or drinking a lot. And like I say, if you look at the behavior when they decide to, when they get angry, the way they behave, it's very much the age of when they started the drug taking. So it will be, you know, if they started around 18, 19, their behavior will be around, as you would expect a lot of 18, 19-year-olds to behave ones that are immature. I'm not talking about people that have got 18, 19-year-olds that don't act like that. And I'm not saying every person who takes drugs does this. You know, there's the odd few that do, you know. So, you know, look at your child's behavior, and you know that is the age they would be when they start behaving that way. And it's not just men, it can be women too. So, you know, let me know if you've experienced anything like that, you know. And yeah, like I say, let me know what you think in the comments. So thank you to the people that have joined up as members. There's been some new people coming in, and I will be mentioning every single one of you on Friday. I'll be adding that to when I do my anger video. I will be doing that bit at the end where I mention you in the comments. I thought I'd escaped. I mention you in the end of the video, and you will go up on the member board. So remember, if you want to join, you can. It's right by the subscribe button. It's $2.99, and you get a little blue badge when you first join. So it goes up, and I see it by your name. And so what I will be doing is, when I've got a few of you, is when I run my competitions, which I do, I will be also running a competition for members only. I will also be doing lives with members only. So I always do my lives with everybody else, but there will be a live with members only, so you get to experience that. I will also, in the community page, you will get your own little comments, because I will do that as members only. So you just get a few little extra perks being a member on this channel as a thank you. I will be doing other memberships, so you know, where you can get a bit more, and some of them will be, you know, you'll get free sessions with me if you want them. You know, so there'll be a lot more coming along. I'm just trying to find my feet at the moment, and so I don't want to kind of run before I can walk. As you saw yesterday, my PO box is now live, so if you want to send me something, whether it's something that you are working on that you would like me to advertise on the channel, so people can then come and buy something that you're working on, your hobby or whatever, I am very, very happy to do that. And yeah, so everyone who has bought me a cup of tea, everyone who is just supporting me in general, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, because it does help the algorithm. Or please subscribe to my channel if you like more of my videos and you don't want to miss out on the uploads. So like I say, thank you so much to each and every one of you, and I love you very much. And I will see you tomorrow for my next installment, part 4, or my last installment, part 4 on Harry. And don't forget, my live with Trev is on Friday at 7 p.m. So take care, Bubble family. Love you. Bye.